Bienvenidos. Welcome, guys. Como siempre, welcome back to your show. I am your girl, Amara la Negra, and you're listening to Exactly Amara, a production of iHeart. And thank you so much for tuning in. As usual, don't forget to subscribe to the podcast on your favorite platform. Rate us 5 stars and leave us a review. We love to go out there and check it out and read it. And I've been reading all your comments. Anyways, head over to the YouTube where you can also watch or listen to the podcast by searching for My Cultura podcast and clicking on Exactly Amara. Bueno, mi amor, I don't want to say this is the end, pero más o menos we have arrived to that place in life where we just want to reminisce and talk about all the great things that has happened this year, all the great things, good and bad, things that I have lived this year. And to do that, I first of all want to give him all the props in the world. Thank him so much for being an amazing producer, a friend, for giving me amazing ideas, for being a support system. And this show couldn't be possible without Alex. Alex, thank you so much for being on my last episode of this season. How you doing?
I'm good. It's been a whole year. Can you believe that?
Niño, cállate. It's been a lot, huh? And in this year, we've done the most.
Yeah, it's kind of fun to have all this time and just, think about everything that you have done and everything that, you continue to do moving forward into the new year. We talked about it last season, and I'm just happy to be here with you. And I have some great questions that I'm going to throw your way as well.
Oh, go for it, because I'm sure that the people wants to know. And honestly, yeah, I'm excited because I feel like I remember my first episode on Exactly Amara, my first season till now. We've recorded so many episodes. We've done so many things. We have grown so much, to the point that I even have children now. Like, so much has happened since I started till now. I love the evolution. I love the growth. So definitely let me know what you have in mind.
Yeah, for sure. And this season has been very mommy-centric.
Yeah, and Arlene. I can't forget about Arlene. Arlene is such an important part of my podcast.
Yes.
Unfortunately for me, but, happily for her, she also became a mother during this season.
Yeah.
And so much has happened during this time. I wish her nothing but the best and her baby. I wish that I could see her, but I know that she's enjoying this moment with her baby. So anyways, we love you, Arlene.
Yeah, shout out to Arlene. We love you. All right, I'm going to start off real quick. This is a basic question that I thought would start the show off. What do you think were the most significant milestones or achievements that you reached this year?
Honestly, I think that this year specifically has just been about growth for me. Growth as a person, learning how to choose better my battles of the things that matter and don't. I think maturity. This year has been about a lot of maturity, because a lot of the things that used to matter before, now obviously they don't, and just knowing when to step in and step out. I think that's been a big accomplishment for me, because sometimes I would take things too personal. I would do the most. Anything could make me fall apart. And now it's like, bro, it's not that serious. Like, this is not even worth my energy and time. And I think that just comes with life experience. That's how you're maturing, you're growing. I definitely would say, obviously, this year it's really been about, motherhood. I think that when I had my daughters last year, it was a thing, but they were just laying there for the most part, right? Their baby bottle, they lay there, you change the diapers, blah, 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 and it's great. But now that they jump around and move around, and I have to travel, and I have to go to work, and I have to do my podcast, and I have to do this, and I don't have a nanny anymore. And it's just like, now it's like when it really sinked in, like, you got kids. So doing that, and obviously the financial responsibility of hustling and figuring, other things out to maintain not one, but 2 more mouths, it's a lot. And if any more milestones, well, in my professional life, I would say, I think that I continue to do, my music. I do my podcast. I do many other things, but I definitely continue to grow my passion for real estate, for generational wealth. I just signed off on another property. I just purchased another property, a multifamily. This is another great way for me to continue the legacy for my children. And that's where my mindset is right now. Investing is really a big thing for me. I'm grateful to know that in my 33 years of life, I have made wise decisions that are looking good for my future.
I love that for you. That's excellent, and that's a huge milestone, especially in today's times. Are you buying these properties here in the States or
Yeah.
in Dominican Republic?
Here in the States, I well, obviously, besides my house, I just bought this new investment property, which is I was kind of scared because I was like, here in America, everything's more difficult, and they ask you for
Sure.
taxes and this and that. But you know what? I said, I'm just gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. Nobody is born knowing stuff. You learn through the journey, through the
Yeah.
process. There's so many plans, so many things that we could do. I also think it's important for me to preach this out to the people that are listening to me, to the youth. Guys, while you're young, while you still can, invest your money, because God knows when you get older, you're not going to have the same energy. You're going to be tired. You're just going to want to rest, because God knows I do. And you have to sacrifice while you're young, while you can, while you still have the energy. Sacrifice, get your money up, and invest.
That's one of the things that we preach here.
Yep.
On your show. So I love that. Now, we talked about the milestones and achievements. Now, did you have any challenges or setbacks that you thought you weren't going to be able to handle that you kind of just plowed through?
Actually, yes. Funny enough, I don't want to get into too many details, but I was very afraid because I had to confront a big monster for me, which was the father of my children. I think that because our personal life was exposed and it was so public, there were so many comments, so many things that happened. Recently, we did an episode that will be airing for Love and Hip Hop where I hadn't seen him in a very long time. My girls were about 4 months the last time I saw him, and I recently saw him again. And we had a conversation in which I was very scared to confront and see him again. I didn't know if it was gonna, go 0 to 1,000, and it did go 0 to 1,000. It was very awful. I figured out a way because as a woman, you have to learn to put your feelings to a side and think as a mother and what's best for your children. I can't say too much, but some things were handled and some things will never change. And I'm just glad that we were able to have a conversation. Whatever it is that needed to be said was said. I handled it as maturely as possible in that moment. And I think that was a very important moment for me in my life at this moment, because it was just a lot. I also think that I learned and I dealt with the personal backlash of dating people on publicly on social media. I'm not doing that again. Let's be very clear. If you see me with somebody outside in these streets, please don't think that I am dating them or they're my man or anything like that, because I've learned to keep my personal life to myself, as private and as low as possible. I'm never doing that again. I think the social media, as much as it can build, it can also destroy amazing relationships. I no longer want to do it. So I've learned that privacy is essential. And I also think that you learn that with maturity and growth, life experiences teaches you not everybody needs to know your business. Not everybody needs to know how happy you are, whatever it is. You just live in that moment, and that's it.
That's hard to do.
It is.
When everyone's up in your business, which leads me to this question for you. Through all of that, obviously that was pretty, crazy for you to sit there and film all this.
Right.
Did you prioritize any self-care, any mental well-being for yourself throughout the year? If you did or didn't, how do you think you can improve in that?
You know what? And I love that you asked me that, because that's something I definitely should work on. I don't think that I give myself enough time. I remember when I was, single and before having children, I would go to the gym all the time. I would get facials all the time. I was taking more care of me, the person. I've never been the going out type of girl. Like, I've always been homebody, pero me daba más cariño. I would take care more of me. And now I understand, because I remember that at one point in life, I used to criticize those moms that would abandon their bodies and, ¿qué te pasó? And now you've gotten fat and no te cuidas, mija. And now more than ever, I understand to be less judgmental, because now that I'm living through it, I haven't completely abandoned myself, but I do see the difference. And I do need more time for myself. I remember the last time I was in the gym, sometimes, I'm like, oh, I need a pedicure. I forgot to shave my legs in the past 2 months. Like, I'm so busy taking care of everybody else, making sure that everybody else is taken care of, not only financially handling, the weight, but emotionally being there for everybody that depends on me. And in that space, I feel that I have lost myself. I don't remember the last time I went out on a date or just felt myself not only as a person, but as a woman, right? I think it's important. The human part of you is important. The mother aspect of you is important because you're supposed to nurture and be there for, to take care of another human being. But the woman within me, I feel like I have lost her a little bit, and I really want to find her this upcoming year.
No, listen, you're a mother of two. It's not easy.
Right.
You're also working very hard to maintain a home and a family. You take care of your mom.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like, it's not easy.
My mom,
I can tell you that
my
much.
dad, everybody.
Oh, your dad too. Yes.
Yeah.
Right. Did you maintain a good work-life balance? You're kind of a crazy worker.
Yeah.
You enjoy being busy a lot. Or did one aspect dominate over the other?
I don't think that I enjoy I'm a workaholic by nature because I like to feel that I'm being productive with my life. I don't like to feel like, a week has passed by and you haven't done anything productive with your life. And being productive doesn't necessarily always mean financially. It could be like, I'm going to do yoga. I'm going to detox. I'm going to have fruits and water. I'm going to, self-care. I am going to maybe start a business, maybe make a call. There could be that one call that can change your life. Maybe I'm going to call 5 people off my phone just to reach out. Maybe I'm going to clean my room. Maybe, I just like to feel productive. But the workaholic aspect of me really comes because of the financial, weight that I have on my shoulders, because I have several properties. I have like 5 mortgages besides the 2 that I have in Miami. I have 3 open mortgages in DR. Plus everything I've purchased, I'm always doing renovations and this and that. And I have kids and I have my mom that's, unfortunately always in the hospital. And there's just so much going on that it's like, if I stop working, everything falls apart. And I had the opportunity recently when I broke my toe, I wasn't able to go to a lot of things till my foot healed. And I just sat there and realized how everybody was just looking at me. Everybody was just sitting there looking at me like, so what do we do now? And I'm like, wait, what? No. If something were to happen to me, what do y'all do next? Like, so that was one of those moments that really put even more pressure on me. Like, I can't stop working. No matter how exhausted I am, I know that I still have energy within myself that I won't have when I'm 45, 50. So push myself as much as I can, because that day will come that I'm really going to be like, y'all got to figure this out. My girls are also somewhat working. And I know it's kind of crazy because they're young, but they do their little commercials here and there. They have almost like 300,000 followers on Instagram. I'm so grateful that they love my babies, and they're starting to create their platform. So eventually they'll start working, creating their own little money too. But all these things are things that as a mother and as a woman, now I start thinking like, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? Where do I get money from here? What happens here? Do I have to finish my trust? Do you have a trust? All these are the things that I never thought about. Now this year is a year. This upcoming year for me is a year of getting organized. This year to me was the year of growth. Next year to me is a year of getting organized. Organized in every aspect. Organize your finances. Organize your vision. Organize your time for yourself. Organize your daughter's schedules. Organization this upcoming year is how I see it for myself.
So you definitely would say that your work-life balance is all jacked up.
It is trash. It is garbage.
Yeah, it's not easy, especially when you're the head of the household. You've talked a little bit before about your relationship with your dad in past episodes this season. You just mentioned that you are also taking care of dad, along with your mom. How did your relationship evolve or cycle through this year with that whole situation, with dad being back in the picture?
I will say that sometimes God has a funny way of working, and he doesn't always give you what you want, but he'll give you what you need. And I don't think that I'm not sure if I needed him as much as he needed me. God gave me the opportunity of allowing me to show him the daughter he missed out on.
Wow.
And he just made things happen in a way that it just unfolded in that matter. Like, he lost his job. He lost his boss because of COVID. That forced him to reach out to me and be like, I have nowhere to go. I need your help. And in that moment, I felt like, it was my duty as a daughter, regardless of the situation, to to allow him to come into my home, into my space. I would never leave him in the streets because I would never leave a friend. Nonetheless, he created me. And him being in my house kind of forced us into, mingling and having to talk to each other a little bit, create a bond. But I really feel that after I gave birth to my daughters really have brought us together a little bit more. Not too much, because I don't feel that he's an expressive person. He's not the type of person that's going to tell me, oh, I love you. He's not going to hug me. He never hugs me or gives me kisses. He'll give me a high five. That's like his way. He's a very distant person. I've never felt, a hug from my father or like a real, he's more like, hey, how you doing? All right, cool. Boom. All right. You're doing a great job. Do that. All right, whatever. So anyways, did your mom cook type of thing? My daughters, and I think he's trying to do right by them for what he didn't do right by me. And that has brought us together. So, we're still working on it. Some things you have to build. Some things happen and born naturally. And with our situation, we have to build it.
That's a lot to take in. How's that relationship with your daughters now, with Grandpa being in the picture? How different do you see him acting with your kids as opposed to how he was with you?
All the hugs that he doesn't give me and never gave me, he gives to them. He is very nurturing to them, not to me.
Yeah.
He'll call me and be like, ¿Dónde está la niña? I'm like, well, good morning to you too, sir. Yeah. Like, it's all about the girls. And I love to see how my girls love him, I love, because I feel that seeing them is almost me living through them. I love to see how when he comes through the door, they run to him and that is like real, genuine love. Babies don't know a difference. They don't know anything. Right. So whatever it is that they feel, that's what they feel. And I love to see that they at least are creating that bond and those memories I never got to do. That's why I feel that God's timing is perfect. Maybe I didn't need that as much as he needed it, or as much as my daughters needed that, because that's the only way I could break that generational curse.
It's a wonderful thing for you to have that a relationship between your daughters and him. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And for you to be able to see that with your eyes. It might be a little bit crazy because you didn't receive it, but it's there. You can see it.
Yeah.
Moving forward, what habits or practices do you think positively impacted your life this year? Which ones would you like to continue moving forward with?
I don't know if it's a habit, because it's definitely not a habit, because I haven't been able to have a real life routine in God knows how long. Like, I have never had regular, you wake up every day at this time, you do this, you do that. I don't know what it is to have that, because my life is a lo que venga, right? But I will say that this year, most importantly, I have put in a lot more effort into creating more family memories, creating more family moments. I talk about it all the time because with time, I've realized how my parents are getting older, how now as a mother, I am, I gave life to more people in this planet, in this world. I have to create those memories, all the things I never had. I want to build it for them. I want them to look at albums and see us enjoying each other and laughing and remembering this was your tia and this was your mom and this is your, you know what I mean? I used to look like this. And I want to create those moments. And those moments don't always have to happen being out and about. It could be, we're just going to watch a movie. Today we're going to watch a movie and I'm going to put effort into, getting Instacart, and I'm going to bake cookies, and I'm going to, and I want us to come together. Even doing Friendsgiving, I had never done that. I paid for a live salsa band, and I bought costillitas and, porco asado, and we did so much pastelón. Like, we did so many foods, and I had my friends bring friends, people I didn't even know. And originally it was supposed to be like 10 of us. It ended up being like 40 of us in the house. And it was a lot. It was a lot, but it was so important to create those bonds, those human connections, because we don't do that anymore. We don't come together anymore, not even to meet new people. So that was important to me. And I'm putting a lot of effort into just creating more memories.
That's great. I mean, that's just the way you talk about it. You genuinely put your foot forward, to kind of make things work. And it sounds like it did, especially with your Friendsgiving thing.
Oh, yeah. We got to talk about that on another episode.
My last question to you is, how satisfied are you with the overall personal and professional growth this year with everything that has happened from, your own personal things that have been going on with your family to the podcast to your businesses? Are you satisfied with it all?
Mina, I am more than grateful with God and life and my fans, the people that support me, the people that follow me. I am grateful because I always say that out of 8 billion human beings, is only very, very few of us that get to see the light. And I have been able to see the light. I am living in the light as we speak. I may have not, touched the light like Beyonce, that she's all the way up there, but I at least have been able to touch it, live it, and be in it. Some people are still dreaming of the possibilities of one day becoming or being or doing, and I have done and lived. I am grateful for that. Obviously I'm only but human. I'm always going to see the negative things, the negative side to all things. But in this moment, in this opportunity, I don't want to talk about the negativity because I have lived. This year hasn't been all about positive stuff. It hasn't been all about great things. I've lived through a lot of shitty ass moments, but I want to talk about the good because I am grateful. I think gratitude is so important. I am grateful for having another season of Exactly Amara, because I remember when originally my Cultura was just an idea that I was having a conversation with Enrique Santos at his house, and it was just an idea. And now it's been 2 seasons in. I pray to God we continue to grow this platform where it gives Latinos, Latinx community, it gives people like myself, Afro-Latinos, an opportunity to not only bring in other people to talk about their experiences, to empower, inspire, and preach. But I'm grateful, and my personal life has been trashed this year. We're still not having no sex. Woo! There goes that. I hope that next year things change, but I don't think it's even about that. I just think it's about the human connection of being with someone, of finding a partner that is worthy. I think that my life has also changed as far as your mindset. Now I'm a mother. I have responsibilities. You can't just bring anybody around. It has to make sense. So in my personal life, nothing has really evolved or grown in a way that I can feel like, oh, I'm so proud. Not necessarily, but I pray that things change. And as far as my career, I pay my bills in life doing what I love. I pay my bills in life doing what God gifted me with, and that alone there's nothing negative I can say because I get to live my dreams. I get to live those things. So I am happy. I am grateful. I think that that's something I need to work on more. As much as I'm talking about it now, I think that next year and in this moment, I need to be more grateful and remember this. This is not just for the podcast, but this should be me more often in real life as far as being more grateful.
We'll hopefully see what the future brings here. And, thank you for having me on today and for allowing me to kind of ask you all these questions and share, all your feelings and everything that has happened for you in 2023.
Thank you guys so much. To all the listeners, thank you so much for subscribing. Thank you for sharing my podcast. Thank you for being part of my life experiences. I am so grateful for you. Once again, thank you guys so much for tuning into Exactly Amara. And like I said before, Alex, thank you so much. For those that haven't watched yet, make sure to find me on YouTube. Catch my show by searching for My Cultura Podcast on YouTube and clicking on Exactly Amara. Follow me on Instagram, Chismoseame la Vida. Follow me on Instagram at Amara la Negra, ALN, Amara la Negra, ALN. And remember that this is a production of iHeart's My Cultura Podcast Network. For more podcasts from iHeart, visit the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to your favorite shows. This is your girl, Amara la Negra, and you just heard Exactly Amara.